Hello, my name is James Bravo. I'm currently in the Masters of Higher Education Administration program at Baruch College. Um, Currently in my second semester, and during this second semester, which was in essence this past spring 2017, one of the courses that I've been taking is financing in higher education with Professor Apfel. And the final project was actually to look deeper into this new free tuition system that has been heard about almost since the ending of last year, beginning of this year, and just recently actually, probably earlier in April, um, we all basically found out that it was actually approved, and there will be now, in essence, a free tuition college system within the CUNY and SUNY institutions. Um, with this, it comes with a specific name, so it will be called Excelsior Scholarship, and it was passed through mostly through Governor Andrew Cuomo. Um, very, I would say, like many articles and like many people have talked about, it is exciting news. It is going to be great for a lot of students. And if you think about the historical context of CUNY in itself, which was founded in back in 1847 as the Free Academy, with the help of Townsend Harris, you think about where are we heading into higher education, and how this Excelsior scholarship will benefit many students, and in essence, it's going back to our own history, right? If we look at specifically New York City, um, again, CUNY was free, and it was founded with that mission of providing access to, immigrant families, poor families, and one of the major things that I found interesting actually is that even with this free type of concept, there were some students who were still paying for college even back in those days. Even up to when CUNY overall had to implement tuition, which is early 1970s. But even before that, for example, non-matriculated students were paying for their courses, so on and so forth. So even though there was this concept of free tuition, in essence, college was free, there were still some guidelines that students have had to meet before even obtaining these perks and so on and so forth. And this is exactly what you see now with the Excelsior Scholarship, right? I recently attended this event. It's through one of the major um, um, event programs at Baruch College through the MSPA school, which is the breakfast series, right? And within one of these lectures, it was actually about free tuition and free college, basically. And the two guests that were in there was Guillermo Linares, who's the president of HESC, which basically handles, for example, TAP. And then there was Professor Jeffrey Apfel, right? So you have two people from, in essence, two different spectrums. You have one person who's thinking about it more on a program based, and all the different benefits that will come for students, and then you have Professor Apfel who's looking at it potentially more from a financial aspect of it. Having history with being chief financial officer and so on and so forth, right? And what I got out of that main breakfast series was actually that you know um, President Linares was basically stating how the associate scholarship, even though it has its certain criterias and requirements, all these requirements are in essence built to push forward this idea that students should be graduating on time, right? With this new mission that hopefully the Excelsior Scholarship will provide, is that we're now graduating these students on time. So he stated that data show that currently 39% of students at senior colleges graduate on time, and only 9% graduate on time at the community college level. So hopefully, this Excelsior scholarship um, um, would increase these numbers, because one of the major requirements to obtain this Excelsior scholarship is that you must be on track to graduate on time. Basically, meaning at a community college level, 2 years, and at a senior college level, 4 years, right? And of course, there's other requirements. For example, you must meet a 2.0 minimum GPA, which for many seems doable. You will also still need to fill out FAFSA and TAP, and so on and so forth before even receiving the Excelsior scholarship. And then, of course, the one major requirement is that the amount of time that you received the Excelsior scholarship benefits, then that's the same amount of time you will have to stay in New York and work in New York. Um, or if not, then that amount of money will become a loan that you will have to pay back. But I think needless to say is that I do believe the Excelsior scholarship is a push forward into where we ultimately want higher education to go. Providing free access, providing this access, and in essence free higher education um, type of knowledge. But there are a lot of caveats with this Excelsior scholarship that unfortunately right now we're just playing the waiting game, right? Professor Atfeld quoted a couple of times, and stating like it was kind of the same type of example with Robert Moses, right? When he was told that there wasn't enough money to build these new bridges and access ways around New York City, and he said, you know what, still build it, and we'll figure out the finances later. And it seems like that's how currently the Excelsior scholarship has been moved forward. Um, um, in the next 3 years in total, for now, it's only been allocated $163 million to support students, and a lot of people, a lot of critics say that that's probably not enough. And again, we'll just have to wait and see. But I think ultimately, relating it back to history and going into it now, I think there are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of things that people are thinking, and they're they're good questions. For example, with there's potentially going to be higher enrollment, and with that higher enrollment, there's going to be higher costs, right? Operational costs, capital budgets, expansion, so on and so forth. But I think at the end of the day, it was a good move forward. It was definitely a good push, and a lot of people are talking about it, right? It seems like higher education for a long time has only been about student debt, colleges moving into this business like type of mentality and structure. And we're finally talking about something in essence positive within higher education, which is, providing, students, potentially high, free education. That's how it's been advertised, even though technically, when you think about it, it's not that way in essence, and not all students would qualify for it. But it seems like majority of students will, especially in New York City. So I would say this with the Excelsior scholarship: yes, we're playing a waiting game. Yes, there's still a lot of answers to. There's still a lot of questions to be answered. But again, I truly believe it's a move forward. And again, when we think about it in a historical context, we're bringing back this mission of providing access to all types of students, especially our lower income to middle class students. So with that said, it's been a great semester. I've learned a lot, and it's definitely beneficial to think about these things on a financial aspect of it, which a lot of it will continue coming up, especially with this Excelsior scholarship. So it'll be interesting to find out if ultimately $163 million is enough to support this scholarship. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to finding out what's the next moves with the Excelsior scholarship. Thank you.